Let's complicate it even further. Up to this stage, things were fairly straightforward and simple. In my output, what we've done thus far is this part here. Now, I want to add in headings. So I need to have this heading, and I want these headings here as well. So it's just a modification of the code that we have written. We have to modify a couple of lines in the code that we've written to try and get this set up. So I'm going to give you a maximum of 2 to 3 minutes to try to figure out what change is going to be required for us to do this. So go ahead and try to see how to write the solution. In the meantime, what I'm writing here is the solution that gave us the previous solution that I'd written. I'm just writing that out. So if you can take 2 minutes and try to see how to modify the code to get this. For R, assign the value 1 to 5 to begin, and then for C, assign the value 1 to 4 to begin. And then we had, well, okay, maybe let's just do this. Let's go end here. And let's go end here. So let's see what you come up with in terms of first thought is, how do we go about getting this heading up here? That's the first part. So you should have figured out that this first heading is just a single read out dot lines dot add, and in one line you should get that heading. So it is student. You need a #9. And then it's test1. Then with the #9. And then you're going to continue building it with test2 with a #9, test3, and then test 4. So that would give you the first line. In one readout, you're going to get the first heading. So that's straightforward. Now you have to figure out, as you are building up the matrix, a 2D array, another name for a 2D array is a matrix. As you're building up this matrix, you need to be adding student 1, student 2 as you're building it up. So this needs to come somewhere inside of your loop. And if you think about it carefully, in the previous example, we had str here, and str was set to nothing. So at this point, str is not going to be set to nothing. Str is going to be set to student. But it changes each time. Student 1, student 2, student 3, it changes. So what takes on that value 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5? And you'll notice that your loop counter R takes on that value. So you're going to say student plus and do a into string on R. And then put in a #9 to just leave the space at the tab that you want. So as you come into the loop when R is 1, it's going to start with student and R is 1. So it's going to say student 1, leave a tab space. And then the C loop is going to continue doing what it did in the previous example. So we're not going to make any change in here. We're going to say str equals str plus arr marks rc. And again, I forgot to change from an int, sorry, string, what's it? Int to a string. Int to string. There we are. So R is 1. I get it to print student 1. The C loop is going to go 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's then going to give me these values here. So when I come out of the loop, I'm ready to display that row. I'm now ready to display that row. So I'm going to go readout.lines.add, and I'm just going to print str. I'm going to print str, and automatically the readout is going to take me to a new line. Keep that in mind. Okay, so when I go back up and R becomes 2, str starts now again. It resets to student and R is 2. So it's student 2 plus #9, and C is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's going to give us the second row. And when I come out of it, it's going to print str, which is the second, which is student 2. It's student 2 with its values. One more time, let's go back up. R becomes 3. And now it's going to print student. And R is 3, so it's going to print student 3 plus #9, which is the tab. And then the inner loop is accumulating the marks in your array. And I think I forgot the #9 here. I should have a plus a #9 there. So I get the spaces. And this is how you would be able to display this array with headings. And in all probability, in a test or an exam, if the question comes out to display it in tabular form, they'd want you to display it with these headings. So take note how it is done. It's fairly straightforward. If you understand how the nested for loop works, what is the impact when you put a statement here? What is the impact? What is the impact when you put a statement inside both of the loops? And finally, what is the impact when you put a statement here? If you know and understand these three things, then it becomes very easy for you to be able to write this type of code, or many of the other examples that we're going to come across just now.